All right, welcome to the training, everybody. This week's training is a follow-up on what we did last week. Last week was, and I just circled this for all of you guys just a second ago who are here with me live. Last week we did this right here, which is called an introduction to keyword research. This is going to be part 2 of that, and I'll probably label it as part 2. Part 2, but this will be a way to organize that keyword research. We talked about some of the 3 main criteria of choosing a keyword phrase last week, okay? We talked about how a keyword phrase has to be relevant to your target page and how we want some volume, meaning it's something that people are actually searching for, and how we want there to be low difficulty on it. Low difficulty, some popularity or volume, and it needs to be relevant to one of your pages. And we have to do all of this research for every single one of the pages of our site, right? That was kind of what we established before. So you're going to have a keyword phrase directed at your home page, at each one of your category pages, and then all of your product pages. And here's the catch. They all have to be different and unique if you can make it happen that way. So a site that has 100 pages and 10 categories and a home page may have over 100 different keyword targets that you're trying to get the site to rank for. But you need to organize all of this information. What you don't want to do is do a bunch of research, put it onto your site, and then lose your place or forget what you're trying to get done. Because you're going to be looking through so many keywords, you have to be somewhat organized. So tonight, I just want to show you, and I've done this in the past in a webinar, but it was a while back. So I'm updating tonight. Tonight I'm just going to show you how I like to do it, how I like to stay organized. It may not be the best thing for you. You might prefer to stay organized by doing it by hand. Maybe you write it on, the old-fashioned way. Maybe you keep a notebook where you keep all of this data. I actually don't really care how you do it as long as it's done. I'm just going to share with you how I do it tonight. Okay? All right. So just, I guess, a couple of notes then I should make before we start this. Maybe I'll do this really fast. Okay. So we said a site structure, right? So we're not gonna do this. Well, let me draw this out first, and then I'll make some sense of it. Okay, we're going to pretend like this is your home page. And most sites are broken up to a structure that looks a little like this. I'm sure you're wondering, what is this guy drawing? It'll make sense here in just a sec. All right, what are these pages right here? These are category pages, okay? So you've got your home page, and then you've got kind of like your top level category pages, right? And then underneath your category pages, you might have, who knows how many products, right? I'll just draw this here as a representation of some products that would fall under a category. So on and so forth. Other products. But the one thing that's unique about how this is all done is all of these pages can be found in Google. Okay? So, for example, this is a page, right? That's your main page. But this is a page. They're not just, you got to think in terms of pages. They're not just categories, but they're findable pages on a website. All of which, and each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, anyway, so on and so forth. And these are all products, right? So I won't draw arrows to all of these. Bottom line is someone can go into Google, right? You know what I'm talking about. Google with their search bar like this. And somebody can type in some kind of a keyword phrase, right? And the point I'm making is depending on what that phrase is, Google will direct them to maybe this category or Maybe Google will direct them to maybe this product down here. The point is, we have to structure things well, and we have to stay organized. And if you do this, the probability of you getting traffic, not only to your home page, but to each one of your category pages, just goes up exponentially, and this could feed traffic into your site for a long, long time. Now, I need to keep track of all of this information, right? So here's how I do it. You do it how you want to do it. You can keep it in a Word document. You can write it down yourself. I'm just going to show you how I do it here. And I do it on a program called Google Sheets. Now, some of you guys may have heard of Google Sheets before. I'm just going to write this down here so if you're taking notes, you can be here with me. Google Sheets, it's called. The address is like this. If you want to write down the address, let me zoom on in just a little bit more. There you go. That highlighted in blue is the address. Okay? How many of you guys, just out of curiosity, actually this might make for a really interesting poll for those of you who are here with me. So I'm going to just run a poll here real quick. Hold on just a sec, guys. Bear with me. Is it going to let me do a poll? It may not. If it doesn't let me, I'll just ask you in chat. Yeah, it's not going to let me right now. I won't take the time to do it. But how many of you guys are familiar and use Google Sheets? Who's used it before? Google. It's the Google suite, the Google Docs suite, but specifically Google Sheets. It's basically a watered down Excel on Google. Okay, so google.com/sheets. This is what it looks like. When you go here, you should really have a Google account. I think you can use Google Sheets without a Gmail account. But if you don't have a Gmail account, you should probably have one of those anyway. I would encourage you to have one. Go to google.com/sheets and sign into an account. A Gmail if you have it. If not, I think you can create another account. Once you get in, you're going to look at a screen like this, and you're going to be able to create your own Google Sheet. So I'm going to create this blank page right here where it says blank. I'm going to select this, and let me just circle this so you guys don't miss it. This one right here. Okay. Here we go. Blank. And it's going to look like this. Yeah, a lot of you guys have, looks like, yeah, a lot of you guys are. I'd say like half and half have used it. Some never used it. It really depends on your job. I think a lot of you in your careers have used it, and a lot just, it's just not been part of it. So it is what it is. But it's very well used within our space, and I would highly recommend it. So this is what it looks like when you first get into Google Sheets. And the very first thing I'm going to do here is right up here at the top. It's called an untitled spreadsheet. I'm going to fix that right now. And I'm going to call this keyword research for whatever my website is. Okay, in this case, uptownpearl.com. Okay? Just so I've got it labeled. You may end up with a lot of spreadsheets like I do, and this is really nice to do. Oh, sorry. Sorry. There you go. Can you see my screen now? All right. So let me show you that one more time just in case you missed it. Google.com/sheets. And when you get here, click on blank. I'll circle that just one more time. Circle it in red so it's a little easier to see. Right there. You guys see that? Okay. Yeah, whenever I run one of those polls, it cuts my screen out. So anyway, sorry about that. All right, so we clicked on blank, and blank is what took us to this screen right here. All right, so here we are. I came in here and I just renamed the sheet up here at the very top, and I called it Keyword Research for Uptown Pearl. Okay. Now we need to organize our sheet. So I've done it in different ways before, but the first thing I would do is maybe create my columns. Okay. So I'm going to call this, my first column is going to be page. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit on this. If this is a little small, let me zoom in and make it a little bit better. Is that better? Can you guys see that better now? All right, so page we've got. Let's do, and it just depends on, anyway, there's no right way to do this. This is just the way that I would recommend doing it. This will be our target phrase. Okay, that's column B. Column C, I'm going to say, is your difficulty percentage. And where does that come from? That comes from Moz, and I'm going to put that in parentheses. All right. Volume, which also comes from Moz. And then if you want to keep it really simple, well, we should probably do this. We should probably do URL right there real quick, and then we're going to do notes here in the last one. This is probably the simplest version of this spreadsheet you could possibly do. Columns, page, target phrase, difficulty percentage, volume, URL, and notes. Okay? And as far as formatting this a little bit, I'd like to teach you in a different training more of the basics of using one of these spreadsheet programs. So I'm going to go a little fast here. Maybe we can do a spreadsheet basics one next time. But I'm going to label this at the top. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. Let's keep this really simple. I'm just going to highlight all of this. I can drag down on the screen. And I'm going to select this option right here for borders, and I'm going to create some black borders. I just clicked on borders, and it created these nice little borders for me. Okay? And to make these columns easier to see, these headings, I'm going to highlight these and maybe make them bold. And I might do a fill color right up here. Maybe a light purple. There you go. All right, so that's kind of easy to look at now, right? And if I want to expand out these columns and give them more room, because maybe my phrases are going to be longer, I can drag this out a little bit. Right? Maybe the percentages aren't going to be very big, so I can click and drag these columns on the lines. Right? You guys see that? But maybe the URL is going to be longer. Maybe the notes section will be longer. See how I can kind of customize the size of these? Of course, if I do that, then you can't really see the name on volume and difficulty, but that's okay. You get the idea. There you go. Page, maybe we make a little bit bigger too. So you can expand these out just a little bit. Okay, so let's fill this out. Let's organize our thoughts on how to do this. Now, a minute ago, I drew you out a visual representation of kind of what we're doing here. This is going to be your home page. Okay, that first line item, and you can fill out your pages first, which is probably what I would do. So if Uptown Pearl is our website in question here, I'm going to do my home page, and then I'm going to do my category pages next. On this particular site, it has 3 main categories. It has bracelets, earrings, and necklaces. So right here, I'm going to do C-bracelets, C-necklaces, and C-earrings. What does the C stand for in this case, guys? category, right? Now I'm going to move on to my products, and I'm going to list every single one of my products. Let's start with the bracelets, and I'm not actually going to do this right now, but I'll start the process. So I'm going to go, yeah, and it is. It's Excel basically, but it's Google's version of it, and it's free, by the way. So if you don't have Excel on your computer, don't worry about it. And this isn't a program you download. You're just doing this online. All right, we're going to call this one the Taylor P dash the Delilah P dash the Lauren. Right, these are all product names. P dash the Renee P dash. Okay, I'm not going to do all of these, but let's just add a couple more. The Tiffany, the Harley, the Nell. I know, this is riveting stuff, isn't it? Okay. You guys get the picture? I could go on and on and on and on and on, right? There's no max length that I have to worry about, because I can scroll and 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 scroll, and this has endless lines, right? You can make a spreadsheet as big as you want. So in theory, this could go down 100 different lines, couldn't it? Depending on how many products I have to list here. Okay. Now, to your target phrase. Guys, how do we come up with our target phrase? Let's say we're talking about our bracelets page, which in this case, we're sitting on right now. How do we come up with our target phrase? Well, we talked about this process in last week's training. First, you brainstorm and you come up with a bunch of ideas off the top of your head, right? So if I were someone looking for pearl bracelets, what would I type in? Well, I would type in pearl bracelet, or unique pearl bracelet, or pearl bracelet sale, or quality pearl bracelet, or real pearl bracelets, or so on and so forth, right? An expensive pearl bracelet. So I would make a big list of potentials, wouldn't I? And I suppose you could do this here on your spreadsheet if you wanted to. As you're brainstorming, if you wanted to make a big list here, you could. Pearl bracelet, unique pearl bracelet, quality pearl bracelet, pearl bracelet, sale, etc., right? Now, that's going to bleed over into your other ones, into your other lines. So, I don't know. I mean, you can format it to where it doesn't do that. But usually I don't brainstorm my keywords here. Usually I brainstorm them somewhere else. I'm really just trying to come up with my target phrase and just put it here. So all those keywords that I came up with, I'm going to research just like we did last time. I'm not going to do the research right now. But we're going to assume we went to Moz and we found that pearl bracelet sale was the best keyword phrase. So I would document that right here. Pearl bracelet sale, documented. So that's my target. That's my goal for my bracelets page. I want us to rank at the top of Google for pearl bracelet sale. Maybe the difficulty was, 38% in Moz, right? Moz.com is where we check this. Maybe the volume was, 500 to 850. Maybe that was the volume. All right. Okay. The URL is just the web address for the page. So you find that by just going to the page on your website and then coming up here to the very top. This right here would be the URL right up here. If you guys can see that okay. And I would simply just copy that, right? Copy that URL and paste it right here. Now, I do that because in the future, I may want to quickly find this page, right? I mean, that's ultimately what this document is for. It's to keep you organized. So if you were wondering about that page and you wanted to quickly get over there, you could come and click on that URL and it would take you there if you copy and paste it in like that. So I kind of like the idea of doing that. And then I've got this notes section here at the far right. And my notes could be anything. Maybe I'm not sure if I want to keep this keyword phrase, right? Or currently ranking number 3 on first page of Google, right? You can keep notes and kind of keep track of your progress and rankings if you want to do it that way. But notes is just a good place to be able to make some commentary there, okay? And what you would do is you'd fill this whole thing out in its entirety with all that hard work and that research and that moz and that brainstorming and everything we talked about last time. You're filling it all out and you're putting together a plan here. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, okay, so once you have all of this done, what do we do then? What's all this for? Well, we're gonna take these keywords that we researched and we're gonna implement them into the website. And we're gonna do that because if we implement them into the website, our chances of actually gaining rankings goes way up, right? The cool thing about doing it on a Google Doc like this is you can easily share it with someone. So if you're thinking to yourself, I'm doing all this work, but I'd really, really like to have my coach review it, well, that's quite easy, right? This is one of my favorite parts of having a Google Doc. There's no save button on it. Every time I make a change, it automatically saves. So if I were to click out of this document right now, and I'm going to do that, I just closed out of it, right? In a normal program, you'd be stressing out like, crap, I just lost all my work, right? In this program, not so much. I just go back to google.com/sheets. And sure enough, it's listed right here. It automatically saves. And if I click on that document or that link there, it's going to reopen my document. What's also cool about this is it means I can open this up from anywhere in the world. If I'm visiting my in-laws in North Carolina, I'm currently in Utah, but if I'm out at my in-laws' place in North Carolina and I need to get access to my spreadsheet because I want to do some work, I don't have to bring my laptop. I can hop onto their desktop, go to google.com/sheets, log into my account, and I'll have access to this. It's all saved in the cloud. So it's pretty neat. It's neat that I can have access to this literally anywhere in the world. Now, to what I was saying just a minute ago, if I want to share this document with my coach or with anybody else, right up here at the top right, there's a blue button that says share. I'm going to circle it right there, okay? And now I'm going to click on it and show you what it looks like. It says share with others, and I can simply go, well, I want to share it with, whoever. Put in an email account. And what I can do is over here, there's an option I can click on where I can make it to where the person I share it with can either edit it, can comment on it, or can view it. I can select these options right here. Maybe I only want the person I'm sharing it with to be able to view it, but I don't want them to be able to do any editing. I can configure that there. And then you can write a note, hey, I just wanted to share my keyword phrase research with you. What do you think? Okay? And then I can hit send, and it will automatically email that person and give them access to the spreadsheet, which is really neat. So I'm making a case for this. I know some of you guys are old school. Maybe some of you guys are like, this looks a little intimidating. I don't want to do this Google Sheets. I would rather just write it all down on my own notebook. You can follow this same format that I showed you tonight, but just do it in your own way on a notebook. Or maybe you keep it in Microsoft Word or some other word processor that you're more comfortable with. I really don't care how you do it. I'm just sharing you this because I think it's the easiest way. If you've used Excel before, it'll probably be the easiest way. If you have not, it'll probably inhibit you a little bit. So, do it. We'll do what's easy. I guess the point I want to make is the important thing is that you get it done, and it's organized and it's done well. And if you can, share it with your coach to review. I had a client years ago do this all by hand, and she faxed me like a 56-page document and had me look it over, and that was fine, right? I didn't mind that. I don't think I had received a fax in a lot of years. I don't know how often people fax in the year 2017, right? It just doesn't happen as much anymore. But I got the fax and we used it and it was fine. But I'll bet it would have been easier to learn this and just share it via email, right? So anyway, guys, I'm not going to do any more than this tonight. I think this is pretty self-explanatory from here. What you may need help with is some of the formatting that I did. And I know I went pretty quick, putting in borders, expanding rows and columns. Maybe the formatting will be an issue for you. I don't know. Tonight, teaching you all the ins and outs of Google Sheets is kind of beyond the scope of what I want to talk about. There's some tutorials out there for it, sure. But if it's going to be a huge, huge issue, and I've had a few clients that have tried it, and it's been more difficult for them just to use Google Sheets than it has been for them just to write it down, do it your way. Whatever is fine, okay? And to your question, Bob and Nancy, Raleigh. That's where my wife's family is from. They've moved around Raleigh a little bit, couple of different parts, the northern part, and I think now they're more sort of in the western portion of it. But yeah, we'd love to go out and visit. That's for sure. Yeah, Shelly, product page works the same way. And I guess I didn't talk about that because it's really no different. Let's say we're doing research for the tailor here. The tailor is this product right here. It's a little pearl bracelet. It's I don't know how to describe it, but I would say you could do petite pearl bracelet. Maybe this is a classy pearl bracelet, wedding pearl bracelet, pearl bracelet gift. I mean, these are all potential keywords that I could do. I would research them in Moz, and let's say I come out with wedding pearl bracelet as my target phrase. Maybe the difficulty is 25% and the volume is 0 to 50. I would record all that information there. The URL I would grab the very same way, which is just coming up here and copying and pasting the URL out of the address bar and paste that here, and I would be done. Now I'm making this look very easy because I'm not actually pulling up Moz and comparing keywords right now. We did that last time. So I'm assuming after seeing that last video, you could do a lot of those comparisons. And maybe we'll do some more training on comparisons later, but there you go. Hopefully that makes that a little more clear, Shelly. Mike, you said I mentioned adding the URL to your store page. What's the deal? Well, the URL, you get it from your store page, right? Just like I did. So if I want to get it for the Baby Delilah, I've got to go to the Baby Delilah product first. So I click on the Baby Delilah, and once I'm on the Baby Delilah page, I can come up here and copy and paste the URL, and I can save that to the spreadsheet. Now, after you do your SEO, your URLs will change. We'll discuss that a little bit later. So you might have to change those later, but for now, while you're getting this done, you might just put it in just like that. Yeah, Amy, it is actually watered down Excel. I mean, it's Google Sheets is powerful. It does formulas and a lot of the different advanced features that Excel does. It just doesn't do it on quite the level. And for most things you'll ever use Excel for, this is adequate. This works really well. Yeah, Shelly, it should be more descriptive. So coming back to the product, if somebody's going to do a search and end up on this pearl necklet or this pearl bracelet, the tailor, like we did just a second ago, I want them to do a search that's going to represent this so that when they hit this page, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So your product keyword phrases absolutely, Shelly, should be more specific. They should be as specific as they can be to this specific item. Okay, good. I'm glad that makes sense. Janice, so Moz is going to be the research that helps us put in this information. Without Moz, we couldn't actually do any of this right here. Moz helps us choose our target phrase by helping us with difficulty and volume, and we're able to use Moz to tell us which keywords are best in those areas, and then we choose one per page. And yes, most definitely, Charles, this is something you can use for drop shipping. Yep. So I hope this was helpful, everybody. I'll do some more follow-up training on this stuff. But I think for now, most of you should be able to do research and then get it into a spreadsheet of some kind, just like this. And then our next step would be to actually do some SEO, which I'll be showing you shortly. We may do more keyword research work next week. We may do SEO work. I'm not sure yet. We'll decide that. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions, consult your coach. And I hope this was helpful to you. I hope it explained a few things. Thanks for coming along.